Hello once again, everybody. We're visiting with Kirk Merritt, the Executive Director of the Ohio Soybean Council. Kirk, why do you come to things like the Farm Science Review? Couldn't you be doing things better someplace else?
Gary, there is no better opportunity to interact with our stakeholders than Farm Science Review. So that's why we're here. It's a really good opportunity for our board members to interact with their fellow farmers and to really provide information to them on what we're doing with their checkoff. Our board is responsible for investing the checkoff, the soybean checkoff in Ohio. So we really, I think, capitalize on Farm Science Review in terms of providing information. So we provide information on what we're doing in terms of nutrient management and water quality research. It's a big deal for our farmers. It's really important that we be part of the solution in that regard. And so the research that we're doing, primarily at Ohio State University, is really designed to help the farmers maximize the nutrient and also keep the nutrient on their land. So that is an example. Another example that we're really excited about is the opportunity to provide more information to the farmers on logistics and transportation because of the international markets that those lead to. So an interactive opportunity that we have this year is the virtual reality to take a tour of the Ohio River. So this is virtual reality, allows the viewer to see the path of the soybean from the field to the river to the barge, eventually to international markets. So another example of trying to provide information to the farmers about their investments.
New technology on the ground. Now, all the farmers members that are participating here at the Farm Science Review are, maybe not digging a ditch, but it's work here, and they're sacrificing as well because this is prime harvest season. They're here instead of being back on the farm, so that shows their dedication not only to the association, but to the citizens of Ohio as well. Consumer.
Definitely, Gary. And I think you make an excellent point. The board members of the Ohio Soybean Council volunteer their time. And so the example you give, right now we're heading into harvest. It's a time when our board members want to be on their farm, even want to be in the field, but they're here because they think it's worth their time and they want to make that investment of their time to provide information to their fellow farmer about the decisions that they've made in terms of investing their checkoff. So it's a really good opportunity for us to do that.
So when you're at events like the Farm Science Review, you're impacting the farm or the person in agriculture. There's a lot of people, actually over 98%, that are not in agriculture, the consumer. How do you impact what they hear and what they learn, some of the information that you get from your research and education?
Yes. Very good question, Gary. In the past several years, our board has really made an effort to communicate with non-farmers. We think that's really important in terms of sustainable farming, the social license that our farmers have to practice the modern farming that they want to be able to practice. So a couple of examples. We really try to provide a lot of good education and information to consumers in terms of what farmers are already doing to be good environmental stewards. The farmers want to leave the land better than they found it. They also want to keep the nutrients on the land. So when we're talking about water quality, sometimes the finger's getting pointed at ag and at farmers. We want to make sure that non-farmers, that consumers understand that farmers are doing a great job already to keep the nutrient on the land, and organizations like ours, in partnership with many others, are doing research on the best management practices to be even better, and that farmers will adopt those practices because they are good environmental stewards. Another example, some consumers are concerned about genetic modification. As you know, soybeans and corn are two of the primary crops that are genetically modified. We think it's part of our role to educate consumers on genetic modification, make sure they understand GMOs are okay, they're safe to eat, you can choose whatever you want to feed your family, it's going to be healthy, and GMOs are a good choice for that, and also a good alternative for the farmers. We want to make sure that the farmers have all the tools that are that should be available to them. So that again, in the freedom to operate mode of operation for us, it's really important to be able to educate consumers on topics like that.
Okay, this may not be the greatest analogy, but if you take an octopus and all the tentacles, you have various arms reaching out to the consumer, to the farmer, and other minute segments of our population. And it's something that you're doing, and if you can find a use for this tentacle, you're going to do it.
Oh, definitely. I think that's a good analogy.
Okay, Kirk Merritt has been our guest. Kirk, if folks would like to get a little bit more information, what's the best way for them to do that?
Our website is soyohio.org, and that's information for farmers to really understand what the checkoff is doing with their investment. For consumers, the website is ohiosoybeanfarmers.org.
Very good. As we said, Kirk Merritt has been our guest. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Gary.
And stay with us. Back with more right after this.
Allen Davis Insurance Agency, with 30 years commitment